For decades, the rapture has been viciously attacked. Well, why does Satan attack the rapture? Well, it's because the devil hates every institution of God. Satan is obligated by his black heart to oppose everything that God has given man. One of the precious truths that God has given man is the pre-tribulation rapture. Because Satan hates the saints, and he hates the church, and he hates the Christians, he's going to hate the rapture, which is the reward for the church at the end of this age.
Lee believes we will be taken into heaven, raptured into heaven, prior to a tribulation. Okay? So he's saying that the rapture into heaven to escape the great tribulation is the promise that God has given the saints at the end of this age, the church at the end of this age. Where is that found anywhere in Scripture? So why is he making this argument too? Like, what? Just because a view is attacked doesn't mean that Satan is doing the attacking, Lee. You attack views. I mean, I've seen you attack the post-trib view. I'm not post-trib, for the record. But he attacks post-trib. He attacks other views himself. I see people attacking me all the time. Does that mean I'm right because it's Satan doing the attacking? You can't use the devil and being attacked as your support for your view. That makes no sense. It is irrelevant. So he's established again that any error is demonic from the devil himself, and the rapture is one of those things that the devil has tried to divide Christians over. And, that's the reason he does it. He hates us and blah, blah, blah. All right. So I understand he doesn't like opposition to the pre-trib rapture and thinks it's demonic, but you guys think about it. Why is he resorting to this kind of thing? It's essentially he's attacking people who don't agree with him, marginalizing them. Well, they speak for Satan himself, so we need not listen to them, right? Why is he doing that? Why can't he just preach his view and let the preaching of the view stand on its own?
One of the major traits that you can use to identify the spirit of error is they will twist Scripture. So let's look at some rapture passages where men are twisting Scripture. And there we read, "Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also." What a precious promise, folks. Now, some people will twist the Scripture. I've been in conversations with people of a post-tribulation perspective, and they look at this passage and they just mock and scoff, and they say, how in the world do you see a trip to heaven in this passage?
So let me point out, he says they're mocking and scoffing. See, marginalizing. If you don't agree with me and you question my doctrine, you're mocking. Why? Why do you go there? Is that desperation? Is that why you went there, Lee? Because nobody's mocking when we question you. That's a good question.
This passage does not have the church going to heaven.
It doesn't.
This is talking about the Father's house. Where's the Father's house?
Okay, so I'm not going to get all into this, but God doesn't live in a house. Can we agree with that? He doesn't live inside of anything. He's bigger than all of it. God is a spirit. He's outside of all things. He created heaven and earth. He's bigger than all of it. You certainly can't say that God lives inside of a house. So the word there is also translated as household. Household. The Father's household is very large, and many people can be in the household. There are many other passages that support that idea. Like I said, I'm not going to go into all that now, but we'll go on.
I'll quote a verse or two out of the Gospels where the Father's house is a reference to the temple here on earth in Jerusalem. Well,
Different
when
word.
we come to John 14, we're getting close to the end of Christ's earthly ministry. We're getting very close to the cross. We're in the era where the Lord has already said to the Jews, your house is left to you desolate. He's no longer calling it my father's house. He's no longer.
Interesting that Jesus said that, by the way. Doesn't that sound like the temple was desolate when Jesus said that? Abominations that caused desolation?
Addressing it as a holy place. So he is talking here about the Father's house in heaven. Now, where did Jesus go? He said, I
Listen
go
carefully.
and prepare a place for you. When Jesus left earth, where did he go? He went to heaven.
Yes.
Where is Jesus right now? Well, he's in heaven. Where has Jesus been for nearly the last 2,000 years? He's been in heaven.
Yes.
What is he doing there according to this passage? He's preparing a place for you, for me, for all of us.
Okay.
And he says,
what is that place? I think Lee later says it's the New Jerusalem. And that's fine. We can accept that. If it's New Jerusalem, that's fine. That's the building that does what? Comes down out of heaven to earth. Just keep that in your head.
I will come again and receive you unto myself.
What was that?
Where I am right now,
What?
there
Wait.
you may be also.
Nope. Wrong.
And he says, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am right now,
Right
there
now?
you may be also.
What's right now? When he's talking to the disciples, he was right then, like right now, in front of them on earth. He said, I will come again. What does I will come again mean? I thought we were supposed to read the Bible and accept the words for what they say. The words say, if I go to heaven, I will come again to earth. That's what that means. That's what Lee means when he says it to people. Honey, I'm going on the road on my tour. I will come again when I'm done. What does he mean? I'm going to stay on the road then? Is he saying where I am now, meaning on the road? I will stay there. I'll come back and get you and take you on the road? What happened to reading the verses for what they say, Lee? Why does Lee add those words right now? Listen again.
And he says, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am right now,
Not right
there
now.
you may be also. He's not.
So never once did he say, I will come again, receive you to myself, and take you to the Father's house, that where I am, there you may be also. They add that, you guys. So, Lee, explain yourself. Why did you say right now? Why did you say those words? Because he wants you to believe that's what Jesus meant, even though he didn't say it. Well, that's what he meant. Come again doesn't mean what he says it means.
Where I am right now, there you may be also. He's not talking about the temple here on earth. He's talking about the eternal temple in the New Jerusalem. So
there
this
it
is a good.
So the New Jerusalem comes down from heaven to earth anyway at the end. So what difference does it make? We spend the rest of eternity here. There's no need to go to heaven for 7 years and then come back again. There's no need to have two second comings, which would essentially mean there's three comings of Jesus. I will come again means exactly what it says. I try to read the Bible like that. What does it say? Let's just believe only what it says and not add to it. Let's not try to make our preconceived view fit what's being said. Let's just accept what is said. That's what I try to do. But you saw a very good example right there of a man who is so desperately clinging to his view, he has to add words and concepts. Listen to what he says at the end.
Good example of people twisting scripture. They're not really letting the context say what it wants to say.
What does that mean? See, he's throwing in words like context, so you'll forget that he's adding words. Well, it's the context. Lee, nothing about the context changes the words. I will come again if I go means what it says. I don't care if context to you means a pre-tribulation rapture. That's what Lee means when he says that. Whenever you hear a pre-tribber talk about context, always remember this, guys. What they mean is my view. The context is my view. The context of the pre-trib rapture view. We already know the pre-trib rapture is in these verses, so don't take it out of context. That's what they do. And they say we twist it.